Hi there and welcome. It's Kate in the Nest, and I am, as usual, very excited to be in my happy place, and to have you with me watching this means a lot. So, there's nothing like starting a new season here in Australia. We're just feeling spring in the air at the moment, but today it has been announced that in the Roxy's Journal of Stitchery, Volume 6, the next season is summer. And we've got our first prompt, which is wildflowers. I think, yeah, wildflowers. I think Rachel's doing them in fields. Anyway, it was just so exciting. And I have to tell you, I've learnt so much from doing spring that I actually needed to start summer with a new leaf. So I've literally done that today. I want to share the way that I've done that and how I'm feeling about it already. And I have to say, I hope you can hear it. I am more excited than I was at the start of spring, put it that way, because I've got my head more into the space of how these prompts work. So whether you've been here for a while or brand new, welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's talk about summer. Now, you notice that I've got my bits around me, not in a nest today, but I wanted to start with showing you this, where I started when I wanted to start this new prompt, new season, and I'm finding these books by Adriana Picker just incredibly wonderful. So I love that she starts with the blank page of summer, and I'm not going to go through all of them, but I just am going to flick as I talk, because I think you're going to find that what I've done has been me absorbing these particular colors, and not necessarily every flower, but just getting a feel for what comes out in summer, because the flowers aren't out here yet. We're just getting excited because we're seeing some spring. So my overall feeling was there's lots and lots of colors. There's fruit. Oh, I love Queen Anne's lace. I always put that on a Christmas table as in place of on. I love that. And there's so many bits of embroidery like that. Fennel, I love that. In fact, I've got some growing outside my window as I speak, and I might get baby fennels. This one I think I've shown you before, but the final piece that I think I've absorbed already into the theme of my summer piece is this here. And then when I went to my stash, I almost, just without thinking, absorbed these colors in my choice of fabrics. So if you're stuck for ideas, and I know Rachel showed an embroidery book, there's lots of different things out there, but I love my books, and I do find that something like that has been a wonderful start to this project. So as I said, I've literally started. So I've got an accordion chapter, if you like, that's spring, and this is summer. And my method has been completely different. So again, I'm just sharing my growth because I'm excited. I've learned just by doing spring. Imagine, I'm wondering what the work will look like by the time we get to what comes last. Spring, summer, autumn, winter. Oh, I don't need more winter at the moment. Okay, so I decided to see summer in its entirety. So here we go. 2 pages, 4 pages, 6 pages. Now I'm not yet good at putting it all out, but in front of me, I already feel better because no matter what the prompt, I can see the season. I hope that makes sense for you. Because I think one of my stumbling blocks was I was thinking either 1 page or 2 pages for a prompt and then move on, where I think my brain actually feels better seeing it as a whole thing. So I want to do some stitching with you, and I will talk about my gatherings. I've got some harvesting that I've done. I hope I've got more of those. And my work, because I'm evolving and working on multiple projects, it's funny how I'm seeing that particular fabrics jump out. Okay, so this is the gingham. I've explained that I'm on a bit of a gingham stretch. This is fabric that I got, I think, from Beck at the craft show. And if not, it was very similar to this. I bought this probably as one of my first kits in a kit. It's beautiful, fine, and that flower, I didn't even look it up, but now that I've seen those lilies, I think, okay, that's what I was challenging. Look at all those times I was talking about the nest and birds and not being able to find it, and I found this again I bought this from, this is on Instagram, same as the vase that we used in Spring Blossoms, but it's muted, and I initially thought autumny, but I actually, look at that little birdie, but actually here in the summer it is the yellows and the dryness that ends up taking over. So I've repeated the gingham there, another one of these motifs, and I'm going to jump to the end because, talking of the craft show, I was going through my stash and I bought this little piece of material that I had forgotten. It was all still wrapped up into a tiny little bundle, and I just opened that up and I thought, wow, Kate, you've come so far. You're really ready for big pinks and bold colours. So that's on the end. So I'm just happy. I'm happy before I start in terms of stitching and embroidery. So wildflowers, let me get to that. I have this piece that I think will go on here sometime this afternoon, and I have this pink flower exuding other things, and I have this. So we may not get through all of them, but I think what I needed to do, and I may as well share with you if you're new to this, I needed to extend my wool. So I've just literally been putting the things over the top of it and gradually tacking them together. And I'm at the point where I would do feature stitching, but just by, putting the collage down. So I'm noticing I'm using that word collage because I think that was what was my stumbling block with when I started spring. I started with bare linen, and if you followed me, I did not find where I started very easy. So I've also got some of my old unworked tapestry embroidery linen underneath here because it's on my quilt panel, which has made a lot of progress this week. So delighted with that. Better just check new setup, but yeah, I think that's fine. So I've been talking fast. That happens when I'm excited, so I'm going to slow down as I stitch, and I need to ask you how you are. Is the sun shining for you? Because if you're in the northern hemisphere, you'll be still in summer, but it might be starting to cool down a little. And as I said here, we're actually having some, okay, so that's me holding the wool together underneath. It's unseasonably warm. I think in Sydney they were having 26 or something this week or today, which happens sometimes just all of a sudden, but we never say it's done because the weather is the weather. But hopefully sunshine around all of us. I'm wondering how your plans are going. Have you pre-planned summer yet in your stitching projects? Or is it going to take a little while? It's interesting for me because I literally have jumped into this and I look at these colours and I just feel that this is going to be a happy place for me. So I might zip through summer in a very fast time. And be waiting for the next prompt. No, I'm just going to do holistic summer. And we all have to be ourselves. That's what I've been encouraged to do. And I want to encourage you to do the same. And for me, looking at those pictures was a real inspiration. And of course, we watch each other's YouTubes, don't we? I have to say, I watched Kathleen Sundby's from Canada today. Her work is extraordinarily beautiful. And I know Kathleen makes journals as well as stitches, so we're quite similar like that. But I mean, her accordion journal is I just absolutely love it, the details. So if you're wanting a bit of inspiration, her work is very different to mine, but that's what I love, isn't it? Good to see the work that is different, because then we percolate it in our minds and see what comes out. So this is me running stitching on gingham, taking me back to my very early days of stitching when I was at primary school. And I'm not even looking at the checks, but then I would have. And this is a variegated thread. I've lost count of where I get them all from now. And because I've secured this to each other, I can hopefully get that pin out before it gets buried for all time. Oops. That would be embarrassing. I should have got that out before. Anyway, I will handle that. You don't need to see Kate battling to get a pin out of fabric, because I did. Don't worry about it. Actually, Kate, don't worry about explaining. That's your quirky self. All right. So that gingham's down there. I've got this piece I wanted a little bit. So I have used the lessons of collage that I'm learning as I do this more and more. I've repeated some patterns. So I've got, this is brand new from the Selvage Society from our Green Door on tour. And previously I would not have used so much green, but it just seemed to fit. So a pop there and a pop here. I've only used this once because that's the only piece I've found that I might have left. And over here, as I said, I've got a little bit of harvesting. And I haven't stitched this really down, but I'm just thinking that might go beautifully there. And using my quilting rule, let's go from flower to flower. Sometimes it really is handy to stand up, and look, I can see that's very white, but it doesn't worry me because I'll do stitching around it. Do we want the big flower up? I think so. So I'll think about that there though. I've also got this one, which actually might be less obtrusive on the, because it's not white on the background. Actually, I quite like that. So let's do a pin there. So I think, look, this is Kate's style in that I can't pre-plan, and my excitement already is I'm going to be popping from one flower to another flower rather than thinking this is the 2-week prompt of wildflowers and then this is the 2. I'm going to put elements all over. So let's just trim this because I do love this piece. That could go down there. I've been working on my needle book and horsewhip as well today, and I think it helps me to have a few similar things going because then I go, okay, I can use that embroidery in this project. So they're whipping along quite quickly. And some of you might be surprised I didn't do any crochet last night. I was very disciplined and said, Kate, you cannot start another big project. Not that it's a big project, but they, they take over my life. So I was disciplined and said, I can't start that until I finish some of these others. So let's do a little bit of playing. Of course I can't do that because that would cover up the birdie. I've left all of these on. Maybe they don't need to stay. Oh, here we go. There we go, because there's a leaf up there. It's my learnings from making my quilt. Yep. Okay, so I'm just going to trim this bit of extra there. In between, on top of our gingham. Yep. It's making me happy. So what's that pin doing there for? Have I stitched that? Not really, but I don't think we need it. Oh, goodness. How will I get that out? I tucked it in. I just didn't want to see you having you have to watch me be stabbed. Just up again to get my proportions. So I don't really want to cover too much of that. I want that to go up there. What's that little bit? Still got some cross stitching I can do, growing out yellow, yellow. Okay, let us commit to that. And what have I got threaded up? I've got just a crochet cotton ecru here that I think I might use first, so that then I can decide by the time we pull everything together what colour I need to pick up more to feature. So let's choose any spot to start. Now I could do a whip stitch. Oh, what's that little flower holding under there? I could do a whip, but I might end up doing a blanket. So again, I'm just going to, for this purpose, just do a little tiny running stitch all around. Keep it in place. I'm filming so early today that I'm going to go for a walk after this because it's still sunny and beautiful. And by saying that to you, I'll have to carry through, because yesterday I said I'm going to go on an afternoon walk and only to myself, and it was so windy that I just got the washing off the line and walked around the yard a little bit and said that's enough. But I do feel I should go out into the sunshine this afternoon. Oh, look at that. That is a beautiful embroidery, and to know that it's got its home amongst these flowers is joyful to me. So thank you, Sarah and Rachel, for announcing the new prompt and really continuing to inspire us. I know you both have got very busy lives, but we out here do wait like Christmas Eve each time to hear what the prompt is. And as I said, you've made my day, because I think my flowers are wild at the best of time, so I feel very free. In the corner of my mind, when I was actually laying these pieces on, I thought, a little corner of my mind thought was, Kate, you might end up going on a real cyclical journey. So I might feel that I want to do spring again after winter, because then it would be good to see the growth. But of course there'll be another project by then. So I was wondering if there's someone out there who's done every single volume of the Journal of Stitchery. Like, is there someone who's still following along that started with volume 1? Because I will always remember starting volume 5 like halfway through. What did I make first? The bag? Because I saw Rachel's incredible pouchy one. So it doesn't take very long. So in terms of slow stitching, it's quite fast, and this will be the basis of me doing all sorts of stitches around it, but most of all honouring this beautiful summery embroidery. I did Google Australian flowers as well as I was pulling bits and pieces, and I mean, the ones I see most of all in my yard at Christmas time are the agapanthus. They come in white and purpley blue, and we just have the purpley blue ones. I absolutely love them, and they stay with us for a long time. We've got hydrangeas, love those. The neighbours grow sunflowers to feed the birds. I love daisies, and I saw that asters. So there's all sorts of things, and then the ones that I showed you. So basically for me, now that daffodils and tulips have been attended to, I'm just going to use any flower that pops into my hand. Okay. Oh, I've got that on a stitch. There we go. Okay. So there we go. There's the garden already. The summer garden. How's that time? I think we might put this. Now I'm not sure, in fact, this might be a bit of hard. Oh, it's a bit tough. I'm thinking I might do a feature flower around there. What else have we got? I have got this one here. There's a chunk out of there, so might be easier. Oh yes, look. And see, that white doesn't stand out as much as it did down there. So I'm going to fill in the gap here, and that branch, brown branch, is going to, oh look, they're similar. And then that's going to go there and highlight our birdie. So let's finish with some fun. I've got this brown wool threaded up, 4-ply, haven't used it for ages. And so let's see if we can do some visible stitching that isn't running stitch for you. You might be a bit bored by that, but hopefully you can look at the garden as it is popping out, full of summer. So yeah, branch to branch, flower to flower. I've actually started, see, we're talking about the Journal of Stitchery. I have actually started blocks 8 and 9 of my quilt. So if you've been following, there are 9 blocks in total, each 26 inches square, which is quite big. And I'm at the point where I have to start considering how I'm going to join them up and then embellish over the top. So that is just causing me such joy, and the excitement is building, because just like my needlebook and horsewhip, I want to now make sure that I've got a, oh, I was going to do a different stitch, Kate. Okay, sorry, I'll just go around here, talking too much. And we'll do it along the bottom here. Which direction do I want to go? Should I do some blanket stitch maybe? Seeing it's in the right position. Yep. So just some little close together blanket stitches. See, I've gone quiet because I can actually hear the wool sliding through the fabric, and it is just a joy. So I think because I've got the base down, it is going to give me much more time to, I want to do a lot more embroidery and stitching. I think I was just so worried with my other one, and so rather than hurrying through, I can know that my base is set, and I can do as many French knots and seed stitches and some cantha. I'm thinking, you know, all these little bits I will fill in. And so it gets that lovely tactile feel. So we won't make it all the way around, but we're getting to the bird. I do like the proportion of this bird. We haven't had a prompt for a bird yet. We've had a prompt for a nest. My hands all wrapped up in each other, but really happy with how this is looking. I will run out of thread, but I might even leave it unfinished on this edge because I might end up tucking something else in there. Yep, time to finish. Let's go back down there. We can take that pin out now because it will stay. And so we have blanket stitch around there. And I'm running out of batteries, which is the perfect reminder not to get carried away. So just to finish up, and for me to make sure that I feel like I'm on the right track, we've got a holistic panel for all of summer, and it's already taking shape on those colours inspired by the lilies. The most like a wildflower is this bit. I've got a piece here, and of course I'll keep harvesting. Not all the pieces are in perfect place, but the plan is to go layer upon layer. And there we go. I'll fold it over and we will say happy stitching, happy making, whatever you're doing. And so until next time, it's Katie in a Nest saying have fun, enjoy it. We are so blessed to be able to be working in a summer's garden. Bye.